Hey guys, here's part 3, and sorry for the birds chirping, I can't get them to be quiet. Now, I'd like to give my thoughts on Ultraman X. Now, this series aired literally the day of my best friend Bethany's birthday. And it pertains to, it starts out with two orbs, a red and a purple one. They're fighting as they travel through outer space. And you can tell right away which one is who's who. The red one is obviously Ultraman X, because you know all Ultramen can travel to Earth via a red orb. And the purple one is the villain. In fact, but anyway, they continue to fight, and ultimately, when they get to the sun, X slams his orb into the purple one, and making it crash into the sun, and you pretty much, I should mention right away, you know that orb, that purple orb is the main villain of the season. That he's gonna come back. Anyway, unfortunately, it causes a huge flare, which destroys X's body and converts him into computer data. And it also causes what's called an ultra flare, basically, and it awakens spark dolls that are buried in the earth and are deep underwater. We see some classic monsters like Pestar. Well, Pestar is the only one I can think of. I can remember off the top of my head. Anyway, and meanwhile, a little boy named Daichi Ozora witnessed. He's left his dad. He and his dad arrive at his mother's lab, and his dad hands him a container containing the Gamora Spark Doll, which I should mention was accepted as a member of their family. So Gamora basically is Daichi's best friend. Anyway, but the Ultra Flare destroys the building and kills Daichi's parents, leaving him orphaned. And 15 years later, to combat these monsters, of course, an organization called UNVER, I can't remember what the letters stand for at the moment, they form Zio, X-I-O, short for Xeno Invasion Outcutters, and they are formed to try to gather up the Spark Dolls and combat the ones that basically awaken. And Daichi, he's a part of the lab team, but unlike the two who wear lab coats, he actually gets to go out in the field, and he's partnered with a girl named Asuna, who, though acts like a tomboy, is also a bit of a girly girl. And I should mention, she's really cute. And anyway, Daichi is, you know, he's been trying to figure out a way to materialize Gamora and other Spark Dolls as cyber monsters, which would help Zio combat the other monsters. After a failed attempt, of course, sometime later, a Spark Doll monster called Damaga, a fire and iron monster, basically almost like a walking volcano, awakens, and it goes on a rampage. And of course, I should mention, when Daichi was young, he heard something on his headphones saying "Unite." I should mention that. I forgot that. Anyway, when Damaga attacks the city, Daichi, Asuna, and Hayato and Wataru, who are, I should mention that Zio has these really cool vehicles. They have 3 smart vehicles, which are named after the musketeers, you know, Porthos, Aramis, and Athos. And depending on which one links up to this thing called the Musketti, it'll actually convert it into certain modes. Like Sky Musketti, which is the main one. It's a red flight one. Land Musketti, which is yellow and land based. It's a cannon, and in fact, Daichi and Asuna usually give around by that one. And Space Musketti, which is a cyan colored one, and allows, you know, for space travel. Anyway, when Daichi drops his Spark Doll, his Gamora Spark Doll, he tries to go after it, and that is when Damaga blasts him. And that right then there is when Daichi and X unite, and his device he has ends up being partially converted so that it would house X, and it becomes his transformation device, which he would hold out like this, and then, you know, causing the Spark Doll to materialize. He places it, and then he shouts X, and he transforms. I should mention that. But anyway, Daichi is, of course, his first Ultra hosts to actually be scared of heights, but eventually he does get over it. And he protects Asuna, who you could tell throughout the series that they have feelings for each other, big time. And in fact, there are several incidents that prove it. In fact, that's one of my favorite moments of the series, along with several moments where that showed Daichi's bond with Gamora, and how powerful their friendship is. And there have been several episodes that focus on certain other members of Xeno, but another favorite part of mine is Daichi teams up with several of his Heisei era predecessors, starting with Ultraman Zero, the son of Seven. And I should mention, Daichi also gets these really cool armors to combat certain monsters. The first one is Cyber Gamora, and then there's Cyber King, and later on Cyber Bemstar. And it's really cool. I should mention, X does tell Daichi that he's the one who caused the Ultra Flare, and he did it. He had to do it in order to stop that monster. Otherwise, that monster would have destroyed all life on Earth. And Daichi's cool with it. He understands. Anyway, X's traditional Ultra Beam is an X one called the Xanadium Ray, where he basically winds up and then does it like this, and he defeats most of the monsters that way. Also, I should mention he uses cyber cards, which allows him access to the armors. But I should mention, I mean, he also gains other cards, especially like ones based on other Ultramen like Zero, and also one in particular. He meets and teams up with Ultraman Max, whose human form is played by the same man who played his human host, and they did that because it was the 10th anniversary of the series, and it was really awesome. Later on, Daichi also gets, after X gets his butt handed to him by a powered-up Damaga, thanks to Dark Thunder Energy, which amplifies monsters and turns them into berserkers, basically. Daichi finds a new weapon called the X Slugger, which allows X to transform into Exceed X, and allows him to purify the monsters of the Dark Thunder Energy, and then ultimately he defeats them. But I will say he does destroy some monsters, and this series had has several original ones, including Damaga. Anyway, he also teams up with Ultraman Victory, Ultraman Ginga, and Ultraman Nexus. And honestly, this series was amazing, and the bonds of the various characters was very important. I give this show a 15 out of 10, and I'm sorry this is going on too long. I'm really sorry. This ends part 4.